So Adam Gold showing up on the drive on 99.9 The Fan for the first time. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
The
red carpet.
You know a lot about
lovely.
this. You know a lot about this time slot. We got a new name, so welcome back.
I like it. I like it. It's simple, one word.
Exactly.
I can spell it. We're all good.
Hey, that's we keep it simple around here. But actually, we'll do that. Keep it simple. In simple phrase, Sebastian Aho signing with the Carolina Hurricanes for another 8 years is blank.
I mean, great.
There you go.
I'm also keeping it simple. There's a lot of things to say about Aho. Tremendous consistency, work ethic, committed, competitive, accountable. I could create an acronym if I wanted.
Sounds like a lot of college coaches walking around here, right? Like the core tenets of our program are going to be determination, discipline, accountability,
all
and competitiveness.
Of that, right?
Yeah,
smart, fast, and physical.
Yeah.
The thing about
Hard, smart,
Aho,
tough.
He needs no maintenance. None. He is self-motivated. He is committed to winning. He's an incredible teammate. There are no negative. The only thing I would do is if I could make him bigger. If we could make him 6'3", 210. But we can't. And, he's an elite player.
And the $78 million over 8 years, you feel, to me, it seems logical. Like it's one of the rare contract negotiations where it ended where it probably should, where the player and the agent can say we got a good deal, and the team can say this is fair. Like you right, nobody had too much leverage over the other.
Right?
Am I reading that right?
No, I think it's exactly where I thought it would end. Not that I know anything, but having sources on both ends of this negotiation and hearing where it started on one side and where it started on the other, I'm like, oh yeah, I know where it's going to end, and it ended exactly in the middle. And why it took the last 3 weeks to figure out it, that's just the negotiating process. But
so you're saying it wasn't because they wanted to just make it official on his birthday?
Maybe it was. Maybe they agreed to this contract a month ago.
Yeah.
Like, well, what we're going to do is we're going to unwrap it on your 26th birthday. This is his third contract. He's 26.
Yeah.
And as a friend of mine said to me today, he goes, it probably won't be his last. He'll be 35 at the end. Keeps himself in great shape. If
we just saw Stahl kind of in that same situation, right? Late 30s,
Yes.
get another bite at the apple.
And Aho will have the same miles on him at that stage because remember, Stahl came into the league first year.
Yep.
Aho actually came in year 2. He was drafted.
So
stayed
he'll have
in
less
Finland,
tread on the tire.
Maybe, I don't know.
Less wear and tear on the tire.
Jordan plays a slightly different game. And it's good that he's around for 4 more years. I think the future captain is Aho. I see 2 more years for Jordan in that role. Hopefully in this 2-year span, he'll be able to lift the cup and hand it to Sebastian. And then Sebastian, hopefully in his reign as captain, will be able to lift the cup and maybe hand it to Jacob Slavin.
And that's what it comes down to, right? Obviously the Canes are in, right? We talk a lot in sports about windows. They're in one of those right now. And you want to lock up the guys that extend that window as long as possible. Svechnikov and Aho, like as a core, are those guys the ones, the right ones to build around to build that window?
100%. And they share a common work ethic. The amazing thing about Svechnikov is that he is a worker. And you don't see too many guys who are star-level players with that kind of, in the gym, no days off type of an attitude. He loves it. They also have this in common. They both have a good time doing it. They are both fun to be around. Svechnikov's personality, he and Aho are very different people. Svechnikov's a little bit more outgoing. Svechnikov is hysterical. He is just a fun human being. Aho's got a great sense of humor, but I think he is more matter-of-fact and dry. But
good cop, bad cop, maybe?
They can be. Everybody wants them to play together. I don't think they will. I think they'll stay on separate lines. I think Michael Bunting will probably play more with Aho this upcoming year. But, yeah, they're just really fun. I think we're going to be saying that about Seth Jarvis
That was going to be
down
my
the
next
road.
question. So let's jump in. By the way, we have Adam Gold joining us here to talk a little Canes on the drive on 99.9 The Fan. My next question was going to be who's next, and Jarvis is obviously in that mix for guys who might be locked up next.
Yeah, we're a year away from that. Neither side wants to do anything now.
Okay.
We have 1 year left until restricted free agency. And it wouldn't really make any sense for either side to do it because does anybody have a clue right now what Seth Jarvis's value is going to be? I think he's going to be a 60-point guy next year. But I also think that he could be a 70 to 80-point guy down the road. So why would you lock yourself into any length of a contract and either undervalue or potentially overvalue yourself? So it's beneficial to both sides to wait. So I think they'll do something after next year, which they'll have to. But who knows? Maybe it'll be a long-term deal, depending. But I think it'll be more of a bridge deal. Natchez is a year away, but Pesce is the other thing. And I mean, I don't like where I think that's going, but he would be the next one.
Is there and Pesce would maybe be the expenditure in this question? Is there a shopping list when it comes to those forwards now? You brought up the different lines that they have, and obviously the defense has been so darn good the last 2 years.
Best blue line in the sport.
If you are moving Pesce because you kind of have the 7 for the 6 slots on the defense, is there a archetype, like a type of player that you'd be searching to help one of those lines up there with centers and forward or centers and wings?
If you're going to move Pesce, I don't think it makes sense to move him unless you make your team better. Mm-hmm. And taking Brett Pesce out of your team doesn't make it better.
So you have to make it. You have to find a bigger improvement than Pesce's departure would be a regression.
Yes, and if I knew I could get a center who could play in my top 6. So if Aho is your first center, if I think I could move Pesce and bring back a center who could be your second line center. This is no slight to Jesperi Kotkaniemi, who I still down the road, maybe he's that guy. But I don't think he's that guy now. And I think if you're going to win a Stanley Cup, then you probably need somebody better in that role than Jesperi Kotkaniemi. So if you can get a center who can play as a second line center, even if it's just for a year, but then I would do it.
Okay.
But I don't know how many of those guys are out there. And because, it's almost August at this point, but I don't think anything's going to happen. I think they're more likely to go into the season with what they've got right now, which means that they're going to have to make some decisions on the blue line in terms of their opening night lineup. And how concerning would that be for minutes for a guy like Jalen Chatfield, who I think should be on the ice a bunch? I love Jalen Chatfield too. I think right now, if they don't make any changes, it comes down to Chatfield or DeAngelo as defenseman number 6. Tony said yesterday he's confident in his own ability to win a job. And I ain't putting it past him. I know what Tony can do, but I also know what Chatfield is capable of doing. The funny thing is, I was on a station in Calgary yesterday, and they asked me about to go through the defense, and I'm like, here's the thing. They've got 7 defensemen who all believe that they are top 4 defensemen. All of them. DeAngelo believes he's a top 4 defenseman.
On a ton of teams would be top 4 defensemen.
100%.
Yeah.
So Chatfield could be out of the lineup or play in a top 4 role. Mm-hmm. If they move Pesce, that's where Chatfield's going to go. So that's the embarrassment of riches. The $7.75 million guy, Dmitry Orlov, might be a third-pair defender to start the season because I don't believe they're breaking up Shea and Pesce.
You heard our guy Dennis laughing on that one, but it's an embarrassment of riches.
That's the reality.
Yeah,
that's the reality. So good for them. Those are good problems to have. You can't have too much defense.
And that's coming from a team that gave up the second fewest goals allowed last year, adding Dmitry Orlov to maybe the third line.
The thing about that is it does sound funny. Thing about that, Carolina's defense is team defense and puck possession. So, yes, their blue line is great.
Somebody between the pipes, one of a handful of guys.
They got 3 goalies. They got no place to really put them. They don't have a minor league affiliate. That's still, I think, an underlying problem. But they've got goaltending is fine. The defense is elite. And the way the forwards play, they keep the puck a lot. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have the puck, it's really hard to score.
Adam, thank you for coming on and breaking down some Canes with us.